Bharati, we will see to it which chapter we have to start. Obviously, we have to complete the syllabus, so it will be one of the chapters. All of you will try this question. Okay. Three vertices of a parallelogram ABCD are 3, -1, 2, then 1, 2, and -4, and C is -1, 1, 2. You have to find the coordinates of the fourth vertex D. Find the coordinates of the fourth vertex.
So can you start the recording?
I have already started it. Yeah, try this question.
So 1 comma minus 2 comma 0.
Just a minute, let me check. Please repeat 1 comma
Minus 2 comma 0.
comma 0. Fourth, this third coordinate is not correct. First two are correct. See, let us draw the diagram first. Just a minute. Okay, so if we consider this, we make a parallelogram. Okay, let us say this point is 3, -1, 2. Then B is 1, 2, -4. Then C is -1, 1, 2, and we have to find the fourth vertex. Let it be X, Y, Z. So a very simple concept is supposed to be used here, and that is diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. What is the meaning of this? It means that the midpoint of both the diagonals will be same. Suppose I draw this diagonal and I draw the other one. Then they bisect each other, means they have a common midpoint or the same midpoint. Now from A and C, I will find the midpoint of AC by section formula. Question is based on section formula actually. Midpoint of AC is, that is x1 plus x2 by 2. So 3 minus 1 by 2, 1 will come, then 0 will come, and then 2 will come, right? Now we find midpoint of BD and we will equate the two. Midpoint of BD, because that both will be the coordinates of O only. Okay, x plus 1 by 2, y plus 2 by 2, z minus 4 by 2. When you equate these two, because both of them are same, right? So x plus 1 by 2, how you will equate? X coordinates, y coordinates, and z coordinates. and z minus 4 by 2 is 0. Sorry, 2. So from here you will get value of x as 1, value of y as minus 2, and value of z as 8, not 0. Okay. So you have calculated the values of x, y, z, and that is actually the point D, right? So fourth vertex is having the coordinates 1 minus 2 comma 8, right? I hope this is clear. Use this concept. Do not use distance formula. Okay, it becomes very lengthy. Section formula is to be used. Let us take the next question now. Find the ratio in which the line segment joining the points 2, 4, 5 and 3, 5, 4 is divided by YZ plane. Is divided by YZ plane. Try this. Yes, anyone? Yes, any one of you? You know what is YZ plane? Consider that this is the point 245 and this is your 0.354, and suppose this is a line segment, and then there is this YZ plane. YZ plane, consider it like a page, okay, something like this, okay, and this line segment is passing through this plane, okay, so it will be intersecting at this plane somewhere, right? This is a rough diagram, okay. Consider that a line is passing through a page like that, okay, so there will be a point which will be common to both, that means page as well as the line segment, okay, that will be the point of division. So if we say this point is P, this is Q, and this point is R, okay, this point is R. If we have to take its coordinates, who will tell me how to take the coordinates of R, or what should be the coordinates of R? What will be the coordinates of R that you will be assuming here in this question?
So 0, y, 0.
Very good. 0, y, z, because the point is on yz plane, so its x coordinate will be 0, and this is going to help us to find the ratio. Now let's say the ratio is m:n. Okay. Apply section formula. Apply section formula for the x coordinate. That will give you the ratio. So you put 0 equals, how we use the section formula we discussed yesterday, same as in class 10th, m into 3 plus n into 2 upon m plus n. Now m plus n will go on the other side, it will be 0, this is 3m plus 2, and try to understand one important thing here, that you are getting m by n as minus 2 by 3. Now try to understand this thing, okay. You assume that the point 0, y, z is like this as shown in figure. So you basically assume that it is internal division, and you applied the formula for internal division. But what happened? The ratio came out to be negative. The ratio came out to be negative. So you know what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is that YZ plane divides this line segment PQ externally. Okay. You will write it like this in exam. Externally in the ratio 2:3. There you will not use minus. Okay. Because this minus sign indicates external division. So when you have written externally, you won't write like this minus 2:3 externally. This is wrong. You have used the word externally, so you will simply write externally in the ratio 2:3. Okay. So if you will be taking point x, y, z, then you won't be able to get the answer. Okay. Consider this. Similarly, question can be asked where it can be xz plane. Xz plane means y will be 0. So you will be using the section formula for y coordinate, and same is for xy plane. Okay.
So could you please explain again how it is externally divided, because it's negative and all. So how?
So in internal division, you get a negative ratio.
No, sir.
So if you are getting negative value and you are using formula for internal division, that is what I am explaining. That means that our assumption that it is internal division is wrong. It is actually external division. So if you will try to make the actual diagram, it will come something like this, where P will be here, Q will be here, and this plane will be somewhere outside, and this point will be like this. Okay. Only this you have to.
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Understood. Yes, sir.
All right. See, sometimes they use this word find locus of a point. Okay. Forget about this thing locus. Okay. Actually, it is related to coordinate geometry, right? And that we'll study in detail. So for now, if I write this type of question, suppose if this question comes in school exam, which is equidistant from the points. Okay. You apply simple distance formula and get an equation in x, y, z, and that is only the locus, nothing else. From the points A, 0, 2, 3. So locus basically means an equation in x, y, z, and what will be x, y, z? they will be actually the coordinates of the point with respect to this question. Okay, if you read this question, find the locus of a point which is equidistant from the points. Okay, so what you will do, you will assume the point as xyz, you will apply whatever condition is given, you will simplify this equation as much as possible. Okay, and finally you will get a relation or an equation in xyz that is called the locus of that point. Locus actually means path. Okay, locus means path. So the path on which the point is moving, that is called the locus. Okay, right now this is sufficient for you. Just find this and tell me what you're getting.
So could you repeat what is locus? I just lost connection.
You need not to understand anything. Just assume the point and use the given condition. First you get all whatever you are getting. Just tell me what you are getting after using this condition. Okay, and then I will tell you what is locus. Just use the given condition and write it mathematically and solve it and tell me what you are getting. Why are you taking so much time? What is the problem? Just use the condition. No? Let point be x, y, z. You are not given the coordinates. Take it as x, y, z and let the point be p. Okay. Now given that the point is equidistant from these points a and b. Equidistant means that it is at same distances from a and b. Now use distance formula. Okay. So x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 2 whole square plus z minus 3 whole square. On the right hand side it will be distance of p from b. So x minus 2 whole square, y plus 2 whole square. Okay, and z minus 1 whole square. Now square both sides. Okay, you are simplifying it, so you will have to square. Okay, here we square both sides, and now what is left? Simplification. Okay, so you will have to like expand every square. This is x square, y square minus 4y plus 4. This is z square minus 6z plus 9. Then here it is x square minus 4x plus 4. You will have to expand every term only, then you will be able to simplify. Okay, so squares will get cancelled from both sides. Then bring all the terms on the LHS. So it will be 4x, then minus 4y will be minus 8y, then minus 4z, and this is 13 minus 5, that is 8. Okay, you can further simplify this by dividing it by 4. I was talking about this simplification, right? Now this is your answer. This is the locus. Now let me tell you something. What I was saying, since the coordinates of the point are satisfying this equation, no? So this is called the locus of xyz. Locus of xyz. Now see, in class 10th you studied that linear equation in two variable. Okay, linear equation in two variable represent a straight line in 2D. that is in XY plane. Now in class 12th, okay, in class 12th you will study about linear equation in 3 variables. You can see here it is 3 variable x, y and z. Okay, so linear equation in 3 variable represents a plane. Okay, represents a plane. Okay, represents a plane in 3D. So what is the locus? Locus is a plane. That means the point satisfying this equation means the point is lying on this plane. So this is called locus. So for now, nobody is going to ask you the name of the locus. Okay. They want you to write some equation in terms of the coordinates of the point. Okay. That is why I was not explaining it in detail. I said you take some point, use the given mathematical conditions, simplify as much as you can and just say that this is the locus of the required point. Only that's it, nothing else. Okay. Then when you will study coordinate geometry in detail and then in 12th you will study about 3D, then you will be able to
So could you please
even name
explain
the
again,
locus.
sir, about locus, sir? So I
Okay,
didn't understand it properly.
why you want to understand locus? What I am saying, you are not trying to understand. Every time you are asking the same question. What I said, it is not required. Try to listen to me. Okay. I said that locus is nothing. It is the path of a point on which it moves. But right now you won't be able to name the locus because you haven't studied coordinate geometry in detail. There is circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. Okay. Then in 12th there is this plane, equation of plane. So a class 12th student can easily tell that this is the equation of plane or the locus of the point is a plane. You won't be able to tell it now. So what you have to do? You have to consider a point simply. Okay. Take it as x, y, z and use the given condition, whatever condition is given. So what was given in the condition? Condition is that point is equidistant from A and B. That means distance of P from A and distance of P from B both are equal. Okay. So for us, what we have to do? We are required to use distance formula. Okay, nothing else. We apply distance formula. It is square root on both sides. So we need to square it and simplify it. Okay. Finally, we get a relation in XYZ. Leave it there and just write that this is the locus of point. Finish. Okay. You are not supposed to get into the detail of this term right now. Okay. This is the locus of point P. Just leave it here. Okay. For you, it will be simply an equation. That's it. Let me give another question. In fact, they should have not used this term here. This is their problem. They should have simply used the term find the relation in the coordinates or something like this. Okay. Let me give you one more question. Like suppose question can be this. Find the locus of a point. Find the locus of a point. The sum of whose distances. The sum of whose distances from the points A 4 0 0 and B minus 4 0 0 is equal to 10. Okay, now again they are talking about something called locus. Actually this question is NCERT, so it can be asked in school exam. That time you will say you that I did not tell you about this term. Okay, and you may be confused unnecessarily because otherwise it is a simple question. You have to find the locus of a point. That point is not given. Let point P be x y z. Okay, now what I said, you will use the given condition, whatever mathematical condition is given, and the condition is that the point uh, it is having some distances from A and B and the sum of those distances, that is P and PB, is equal to 10. So what is given? PA plus PB equals 10. This is given in the question. Okay, You can read the question. The sum of whose distances from the points A and B is equal to 10. Okay. AB will not come in this. Only the distance of P from A and B, and the sum of these distances is 10. Okay. Now let us apply the distance formula. So it is x minus 4 whole square. Then in A, y and z coordinates are 0. So it will be y square plus z square. Then plus x plus 4 whole square plus y square plus z square. Okay. Equals 10. Now try to understand how to simplify this equation. Okay, this is very important now, because if you will square the equation without giving a thought, then you know this square root will keep on repeating. And I'm telling you something to further simplify this equation. How? Just open this square first, so it will be x square plus 16 minus 8x plus y square plus z square. Okay, sometimes try to observe also. So this is again x square plus 60 plus 8x. Now what we are observing that in both of these terms, some of the terms are same. Okay, so just for some time, let us take that particular term as t. Okay, let us take that particular term as t. So this is t minus 8x root, and this is t plus 8x root. I hope you get it. Okay, only this minus 8x and plus 8x, this is the difference between the two. Otherwise, like x square plus 16 and plus y square and plus z square, this is present in both the square roots. Okay, so now it looks comparatively simple. Okay, that is why. And at the last of the question, we will again put the value of t, right? Now, can anyone tell me how to simplify this equation? What should be the next step here? Should I simply square it here only or something else?
Square the both sides.
See, that is not the problem, because when you see the square roots, you square both the sides, right? But do you think that if we square both the sides right here, then the square root will be removed and it will be a easy calculation? No. Why? You know, because that 2ab term will also be coming. That 2ab term will also be coming. So what we can do, we can just shift one term to the right hand side, any of the two. Okay, try to understand the concept, and now you square. See, here also square root will be coming, but it will be a easier calculation. Why? See yourself. So how to remember this step? Please listen carefully. How to remember this step? Whenever there are two square roots on one side and there is no square root on the other side, we usually prefer this step, that we balance, kind of balance. Balance here means we have one square root on one side and one square root on the other side. Okay, we generally do this. So now we square both the sides. So this is a square plus, here it is b square, then minus 2ab, right? Minus 2ab. Is the calculation increasing? I don't think so, because terms are also getting cancelled. Okay, some of the terms are adding, like 8x and 8x will be 16x minus 100, and this is minus 20 root of 8 minus tx. Before you square it again, if you can like simplify this equation, that will be better, and that is like dividing both sides by 4. Okay, this thing. Now you can square it. Now you can square it. So I am squaring both sides. This is 16x square. Next is b square, that is 625. Then 2ab will be 200x. Okay, here it is 25, and this is t minus 8x. Last step, this is 16x square plus 625 minus 200x, then 25 into t. Okay, what is t here? T is, okay, I'm going to substitute the value because the question was in xyz, right? And finally this thing, this term 25 into 8x, this will be minus 200x. So this will also get cancelled. Now you will get the answer. In the next step, just shift all the terms to one side, either LHS or RHS. So if I take all the terms on the right hand side, so 0 will be 25x square minus 16, 9x square, then 25y square, then 25z square, and 400 minus 625. See, this is the basic calculation. Even you can do this. Okay. Finally, this is the equation. Now, if you think anybody can name this locus, I'm telling you, even 12th class students won't be able to tell it. This we study in first year engineering, where they actually name this locus. Okay, It may be equation of a cone or whatever. Okay, we will not get into it. So you are getting confused, sir. What is locus? I am telling you, with the help of these questions, what I want to tell you is that whenever this question is coming for you in class 11 locus term, no, you will assume the coordinates of the point, use the given mathematical condition and simplify it as much as you can. Okay, simplest form of equation. You will get a relation in xyz and that will be the locus of the point P. For now, that's it. I hope this is clear now. Okay, and this question is also good because here you understood this elimination thing, sorry, this squaring thing, no? So for that purpose also it is important question. Now anyone having any doubt in this? Anyone having any doubt? Okay, then let us take the next question. Show that the points A 0 1 2 B 2 minus 1 3 and C 1 minus 3 1. Okay, let me make an objective question. You tell me what is your answer. Okay, so the question will be the points A, B, C, all right, are vertices of, and the options are first equilateral triangle, second option is, this is option A, this is option B, option B is right angle triangle. It is a single choice correct question. Okay, C option is isosceles triangle and D option is isosceles right angle. Tell me what you are getting. Yes, anyone? So much time. Yes, anyone of you? Aradhya, can you answer?
I'm still calculating, sir.
Okay, do it. Hurry up now. What is the problem? Just find the length of the sides now. You will come to know.
The isosceles triangle.
You're almost there. Just check it once again. Just carefully observe the lengths of the sides.
The isosceles right angle triangle. So
Now
it's
it is.
Pythagoras. It's
Yes, yes. So initially you are looking just at the equality of the two sides, but you are not using Pythagoras, right? But then finally you have observed it. So that is correct answer. Let us find the values AB, BC and AC. Okay. So what about AB? See, you have to use the distance formula. Okay. So I should not tell you like it is x2 minus x1 whole square, this and that. Just I will be writing the values. Okay. So it will be 4. Then next term will be 4 and this will be 1. So this is going to be 3. Then BC will be 1 plus 4 plus 4. This is again 3. And AC now. AC is 1, 16, 1. This is root 18. Okay. So these are the sides. So you already see that it is isosceles, but third side is not 3. So it is not going to be the equilateral triangle, right? Also, the first thing that you observed is AB is equal to BC, and also AB square plus BC square is AC square, right? This is another thing that you should observe. So D will be the answer. So isosceles right angle triangle. Okay. So in a school exam, it can be asked as a question where you will have to prove it. They will say that show that the points are vertices of right angle isosceles triangle. Okay. For objective, we can make 4 options like this. Writing the next question, find the ratio in which the join of points A215 and B343 is divided by the plane 2x plus 2y minus 2z equals 1, and also find the points of intersection. So basically you have to find the ratio in which the plane is dividing this line segment, and also you have to find the coordinates of that point where these two are meeting. That means line segment and plane. Okay. We solved a similar kind of question with YZ plane. Now they have given this divided by the plane. See, I was telling you some time ago that a linear equation in 3 variable represent a plane. Even if you don't know, it is fine because they have mentioned it, because they do not expect you to easily recognize it. This chapter comes in class 12th. So they have mentioned that it is some plane. Okay. And it is dividing the line segment joining these two. Also find the coordinates of point of division. Okay. So it will be something like this. Okay. There is, I told you, there will be some plane. Okay. And try to visualize it like this, like a line is passing through a page. Okay. Line is passing through a page. Imagine like this. And it is meeting at some point, say here. Okay. and these are the points A and B. So two things. One is ratio, okay, m is to n, and secondly you have to find the coordinates of the point P. Try this question. You tell me the ratio. If you will tell me the ratio, that means you can easily find this other thing. Yes, anyone? See what will be the coordinates that you will be assuming. Now this time it is not YZ plane or ZX plane, something like that, okay? So you will take a general point XYZ. You will take a general point XYZ and you will use the section formula. So let us use the section formula and see again. We are like assuming that it is internal division. Okay, we will use the formula for internal division. From there we will find the value of m by n and then we will see whether our assumption was right or wrong. If plus comes, then it is fine. If negative is coming, that means the plane will be uh, dividing this line segment externally in the ratio. So let us write the section formula first. So m into 3 plus n into 2 upon m plus n. Then y is 4m plus 1n upon m plus n, and z is 3m plus 5n upon m plus n. Now can anyone tell me what to do after this? I have like use section formula, and in using section formula I have calculated the values of x, y, z in terms of m and n. Now how to use this information? What else you need to do so that you can get the ratio? Yes, anyone? Just one more point and question will be over. What is that point to be used? I mean, how to use these values of x, y, and z so that we can find the ratio m upon n? It is simple one-liner concept that point P lies on plane as well. Okay. You are using section formula because point P is on AB. Fine. Why you are using section formula? Because P is on AB or it is dividing AB in some ratio. But at the same time, it is also on the plane 2x plus 2y minus 2z is equal to 1. So that means its coordinates will satisfy its equation. Its coordinates will satisfy its equations. So in place of x, you will substitute this value of x. In place of y, you will substitute 4m plus n upon m plus n. In place of z, you are going to substitute 3m plus 5n upon m plus n equals 1. Now you simplify this equation. Okay, you simplify this equation, so you can see denominator is same, so it is 6m plus 4n, 8m plus 2n, then 6m minus 10n, and here it is m plus n. Okay, then we cancel this. This is how much? This is 8m minus 4n equals m plus n, or this is 7m equals 5n. See, first part, m by n, m by n comes out to be 5 by 7. Now what is happening? In this particular question, the ratio is coming positive. That means it is the case of internal point of division only. Okay, so no need to do anything. You will just write that the plane divides the join of AB internally in the ratio 5:7. And the second question was find the find the coordinates of this point. Also find the coordinates of this point. So what you can do, you will use this concept that 7m is 5n, or you can say you can use that m is 5n upon 7. Okay, m is 5n upon 7 for the second part, and you are going to use these values here. See, I will just replace in 1. Since x is 3m plus 2n upon m plus n, so what I will do, I will substitute value of m here. So this will be 15n. I'm using m as 5n by 7 no, plus 2n upon 5n by 7 plus 1 plus n. Then take LCM, it will be 15 and 14, 29n by 7. In the denominator, it will be 12n by 7. 7 gets cancelled, even n gets cancelled, and x comes out to be 29 by 12. Okay. Just go on putting these values, this relation in m and n, in y and z as well. Okay. So what will happen, just like you have got the value of x, you will get the value of y and z also. And I'm writing directly similarly. You will use that expression of y, and it will come out to be 9 by 4, and z will come out to be 25 by 6. Okay. Use the relation in m and n here in y and z. Okay. This will give you the values of y and z like this. Important question. Okay. To find the point of intersection as well as the ratio. Okay, remember this question, important for exam point of view. Okay, so practice wise, I'm going to take the last question from this chapter. Okay, the midpoints of the sides of the triangle are 1 5 minus 1, 0 4 minus 2, and 2 3 4. Find the vertices of triangle. Vertices means the coordinates. Okay, find the vertices of the triangle. So what is the situation? Just draw a rough diagram. Okay. A is given 1 5 minus 1, then B is given 0 4 minus 2, and C is given 2 3 4. Okay. These three, sorry, they are not given. These are supposed to be calculated. A, B, C are not known. You have to find the coordinates of A, B, C. What is given? The midpoints of these sides of the triangle are given. Okay. So take any one as 1 5 and minus 1. Let's say this is D. Then take this point as E and its coordinates as 0 4 minus 2. And then last one as F and its coordinates are 2 3 4. You have to find the coordinates of A, B and C. Try this. Yes, can anyone tell me how to find the coordinates of ABC? What should be the process? You will assume some coordinates, no? You have to find the coordinates, assume them. The next thing that you have to do, since it is given that the midpoints of the sides are given, next thing is to use the section formula for midpoint. So if we take D as the midpoint of AB, then x1 plus x2 by 2 is 1, y1 plus y2 by 2 is 5, and z1 plus z2 by 2 is -1. Okay. Repeat these for midpoints of BC and AC. Therefore, x2 plus x3 by 2 is 0, y1 y2 plus y3 by 2 is 4, z2 plus z3 by 2 is -2. Then you write this for coordinates of midpoint of AC. So x1 plus x3 by 2 is 2, y1 plus y2 by 2 is 3, z1 plus z1 plus z3 by 2 is 4. Okay. When you will solve these equations, you will get x, y, z. Now how to solve these equations? Okay, just follow this one and you will be able to solve similarly the equations in y and z. Just try to understand this first set, which is in terms of x. See, from first equation, I will write x1 plus x2 as 2, then x2 plus x3 as 0, and x1 plus x3 as 4. Okay, first thing you will do similarly in y and z also. Then what is the next step? Add all these equations. Add. When you will add all these equations, you will get x1, x2 and x3 two times. You can see yourself. In the right hand side, you will get a number. Divide both sides by 2. Okay. Divide both sides by 2. And now you start putting the values of sum of two alphabets in this equation, which is sum of 3. So like if you put x1 plus x2 as 2. Okay. If you put x1 plus x2 as 2, x3 will be 1, right? If you put x2 plus x3 as 0 here, x2 plus x3 is 0, so x1 will be 3. Similarly, if you put x1 plus x3 as 4, x2 will be -1. Got it? So in this way, you are getting the values of x1, x2 and x3. Now repeat the same process. What you will do? You will write y1 plus y2 as 10, y2 plus y3 as 8 and y1 plus y2 as 6. Then you will add all the equations divided by 2, start putting the value, right? So y1 plus y2 plus y3 comes out to be 12. Okay. Now you start substituting the value just like in the previous case. You will get y1, y2, y3 and similarly z1, z2 and z3. So because of this, the coordinates will be x1, y1, z1 is going to be, I will be just writing the values, no? One of the coordinates will be, you check yourself. Okay, one of the coordinates will be 3, 4, 5. Other will be 1, 2, 3, and the third one will be -6, -1, 6 and -7. Okay, these will be the values. I hope this question is clear. I have not solved all the questions. You can do it now. Okay, just start substituting the values here. Similarly, repeat the process for z. Then the coordinates are, you will write x1, y1, z1 as one coordinate, x2, y2, z2 as the second one, x3, y3, z3 as the third one, and this is the answer. Okay, this is the answer. So you can complete it now. Yes, any doubt about this question? Okay, now this is it for regarding this chapter. Now, do you have doubts from PNC? Anyone having any doubts from PNC level 1 exercise can ask. Yes, any one of you having any doubts? Let me know if anyone is having any doubt. See, this is the last day. No more discussion after this. In the next class, that is on Saturday, you will ask the doubts from this NCERT 3D. Okay. I don't know how many exercises there, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, whatever. Complete it because it will take very less time. Okay. Complete those from there, and I will be discussing it on Saturday, and I will start some new chapter. It may be, it will not be a conic for sure. There is the chapter called probability is there. Okay. We can start probability, then statistics is there. That is like formula based chapter. Then mathematical reasoning. There are few chapters left, okay, but smaller ones. So that will complete, no issues. So I don't think anybody is willing to ask any doubt. I will see your test result, no? You guys are not having any doubts. So I am going to see result of each and every one of you. How much you are scoring in maths when permutation combination test is there. Then we will see to it. Whether you had doubts or not. Yes?
This was all that was coordinate geometry, 3D geometry for competition.
Competition 3D, there is something else. It is something different. It is not exactly related. You will not find the same kind of concepts. You know, just like distance formula is fine or like section formula is there. Okay. But 3D has some different concepts, and like coordinate geometry in 2D is a, like a unit. Okay. It consists of 5 chapters, while 3D is a single chapter in itself. Okay. So that is for a competitive exam level as well, but not now. It will be taught to you in class 12th only. Okay. It's just the introductory part is there in class 11th, and that also for your school exam point of purpose. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's it. I'm not going to start new chapter. No, there's no point of, go on teaching and you're not doing the questions. So please do the questions from this 3D exercise you have today as well as tomorrow. Okay. So when we meet on Saturday, at least ask these questions from 3D. Okay. I am going to start new chapter on Saturday. That's it for today. Bye everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.